Hi, and welcome to the TPS Firm Screen Overview. Your firm properties fills the TPS system in on all the specifics about your firm. This is where you enter your firm's name, address, phone number, your invoice code, and it's where you set up things like your finance charge rate, your threshold balance, and other important info about how you want to run your business as it pertains to TPS. Let's take a look at the TPS firm screen now so I can tell you all about it. An important part of setting up TPS is to input and manage your firm's general information. Your firm properties is one of the first things you should set up when creating your new TPS account. This section kind of sets the tone for the rest of the program, and several of the fields you fill out here will be set across all your clients so that you don't have to go to each one and input certain information. So let's start off looking at the small icons up here. Here we have Change Firm and Change Office. If you have more than one firm or more than one office as part of your firm, you can alternate between them using these buttons here. And of course, we have our Reload button to make sure you're always working with the most updated information. As soon as you click on the firm or office you're wanting to edit, you'll get the information over here on the right-hand side of the screen. You start out on the General tab. When it says Firm's Name, you just put in the firm's legal name, the legal address, and then we have the option for an alternate address, the firm's legal phone number, an alternate phone number, and fax, with fields for the area code, local number, and extension. You can enter your firm's web page, and then Client Folder. By default, your Client Folder is set up to go to your Invoices folder. You can leave this if you want to, and it would mean all invoices, statements, and letters will be saved in the main Invoices folder. If you want this to be more like your office filing cabinet, like to arrange these in subfolders, you can use these variables that you're seeing here. As you hover over Client Folder, this pops up, and the variables you can use are the ones on top. Examples of exactly how you use them are down on the bottom. So these will set subfolders inside the Invoices folder. You could do this by client ID or partner or any of these other options that you see here. Just make sure you set it up like these examples below. You must type it in just like this. So right now I have it in just as the Invoice folder, but I'm going to go ahead and put it in. Client ID is pretty popular, so I'm going to go ahead and set it up to where there's a Client ID subfolder inside of my normal Invoices folder. If you want these to go someplace else, like a specific location where you typically save stuff in your office, you just have to put in the full path, like it shows here under the examples where it says server name. You just have to make sure that it is a shared folder, and you have to use our variables at the end. You can't just create your own variables. We usually suggest to leave it in the Invoices folder and then break it down more if you want using the options that you see here. So once I've put this in like I have here, the first button over here that says Set Client Folders for all clients, this is actually making sure that this path here is saved in the client properties. And I'll show that to you in just a second. So I'm going to go ahead and click the first button here, and that's saying Folder Structure is set to all clients. Okay. Well, I need to make sure I apply this here because I made that change. Then I'm going to come up here to the client properties, and let's just check out, for example, ABC Company. Under the Admin tab, you can see here it's going into where I have my Invoices folder and then into the ABC client folder by their client ID. I'm going to come back to the firm properties. So all that first button did was make sure that it actually went into my client properties. If I want to create the actual folder where it will be saved, I need to use the second button that says Create Client Folders for all clients. That means that every client that I have in the system, that folder will be created so that those invoices can actually be saved somewhere. So I'm going to go ahead and do that too now. Click Save. Client folders are created successfully. So that created the physical folder where they will be saved. Here's where you see your current period, and during the initial TPS setup you need to set up the periods and your fiscal year end, and then month to month you close your periods using the period close up here in Tools. Invoice code, you can put anything you want to in here really. Some firms put in the year and then change it each year. Some have their own system altogether, so just put something that makes sense to you. Maybe 19 for 2019. And then this is showing your fiscal year end, of course. Just make sure you click Apply to any changes that you make. The Finance Charges tab, we start off with the Finance Charge Rate. This is the interest rate that you will charge per month, so this should be a percentage. Threshold balance is the minimum balance that attracts a finance charge. I have in here $300, so my clients will not begin receiving finance charges until they've gone past $300 overdue. Minimum charge, if you apply a minimum finance charge, enter the amount of this minimum here. Then down here we have use compounding. You check this if you want unpaid finance charges to also be calculated as part of the percentage for figuring out the next finance charge. And then this basically just means the taxes are also wrapped up in that. So include tax in that balance if you want those calculated in the next finance charge as well. Prohibit the use of inactive engagements. Finance charge after will allow the firm to globally set the number of days after the invoice was created to start applying finance charges to clients. If you don't want to charge finance charges to the clients ever, then enter 0 in here. And then of course, set to all clients, make sure that it's set to all clients. Client defaults tab. In the client properties, every client will have a user-defined tab. Here's where you set up what information you'd like to collect on that tab. By inputting these here, you make sure they show up on the Client Properties tab. So if you're wanting the Social Security number or the Social Insurance number, the province tax, etc., put that in here. And of course, this button is to set it to all clients. Invoice template is the template you want to set as your default template. So it's the one you're most comfortable with. Employees will be able to change the template when creating invoices for that one instance, but if they do not, it'll use the template chosen here. Phone labels. You can change the labels for the phone numbers you want from your clients. You can leave them alone as they are here, or maybe type in cell, office, home, etc. like we've typed in fax over here. Set AR to all invoices means that you want to show the AR summary aging at the bottom of each invoice. This will work as long as the invoice you choose has that variable in it. So you'd want to choose one that is set up to show the AR summary aging. Click Do Not Send Statement if you don't want statement sent. Clicking this will mark all of your clients as Do Not Send Statement. If you want this for just one, you can do that on the client properties. Tax 1, 2, and 3 is where you'll put in the taxes that apply to you and your clients. This is basically your VAT tax section. Contact TPS if you do not know how to fill this out. And with all of these, just click Set to All Clients if you want this set to all of your clients. And as always, click Apply when you're finished or Cancel if you want to exit out of it without saving the information that you've put in here. And you can get to the Help screen by clicking this button here. And I think that pretty much covers it for the firm overview.